assess the status of inland waterways. So the positive and negative both you have highlighted the issues. But the positive aspects is less. After the introduction, first you need to give the user flowchart to highlight the legal policy framework. In such cases, no, either on the welfare schemes or the social protection, prepare a flowchart and classify the points and provide the schemes.
I started my full-fledged preparation after I joined the Ultimate Assessment Program at Civils Daily.
There is a 12-month strategy which I have done on Civils Daily platform only.
I reached out to the Civils Daily team.
Civils Daily. Current affairs में Civils Daily.
Civils Daily. With Civils Daily.
Civils Daily.
Civils Daily. Civils Daily. To Civils Daily.
Civils Daily.
Civils Daily.
With Civils Daily.
Civils Daily.
A mentorship program of Civils Daily, and that did help me a lot.
And I think you have written GS1 also, right?
Yes, GS1 I have written. One essay and GS3.
So GS1, did you get the evaluated copy?
Yeah, I had received it.
Okay.
You shared with me yesterday on WhatsApp that copy.
Yes. I couldn't get the time to read that one. No issue, we can connect tomorrow for GS1.
Yeah, sure. So we are doing GS3 right now?
Yes.
Okay, let me open. No.
So, see, the first question, whenever the director of the question is this, what do you understand or what is this? By default, your introduction becomes the definition.
Okay.
Okay. Just a second. Okay. So here your introduction should have been a definition of GDP deflator. The rest is fine, I guess. So in the second question, there is the issue with respect to the structuring. Okay, first of all, the space that you have taken for this part should have been lesser. You have taken a lot of space for this.
Okay.
Okay. Then after that, you can simply give the heading dual issues of employment and unemployability. Under it, you first give the data of both. And then you give the way forward. So here what you have done, you have given the data on the unemployability. You have given its way forward, but you have given only the data and the vicious cycle for unemployment. You haven't given the way forward for it.
Okay.
Right. So the structuring should have been in that way. First of all, if you have limited this space, you would have got sufficient space for the issues part and then the way forward part. Okay. Yes. Then with respect to the yes, so especially in GS3, the economic section, while providing the way forwards, try to mention the schemes.
Okay.
Okay. So for example, with respect to unemployability, just reducing the you need to give the with respect to the way forwards. Okay. So you could have mentioned the scheme, the Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Okay. Second aspect is always with respect to the employment. Okay. The key points that you should always give is the urban Manrega.
Okay.
Okay. The third, promoting self-employment. Self-employment through the startup initiatives, Mudra, as well as the MSME sector, reforms in the MSME sector. Okay? That. Then the third aspect is the industry academia linkage.
Okay.
Okay? And one more is the increasing female labor force participation. Okay? Yes. And if you want, you can also bring this aspect, the gig economy aspect.
Okay.
The social security benefit for the gig economy. Okay, but here we should have provided the way forward which you must. And one more is the as suggested by the Niti Aayog and your economic survey. The focus should be on the labor intensive growth.
Okay.
Okay? Focusing more on the labor intensive sectors like textile. The changes required subsidy extension. Again, with respect to the changes, the Niti Aayog India at 75 or your the Ashok Dalwai Committee on doubling farmers' income. What changes they have suggested? One is this. They have suggested to focus on the high value crops.
Okay.
So high value crops as in your horticulture and the organic farming. Okay. The second, you can talk about climate resilience. Okay. So when you talk about changes required in the cropping pattern, try to incorporate these two. Okay. Next, agri extension services is a very good point. These are also fine. And measures taken by the government, you can also talk about the agri export policy. That can be your brown apple. In that, rather than the logistic cost, you should have given the World Bank data on the infrastructure. Yes, for the World Bank, India requires 1.5 trillion investment by 2030 in the infrastructure sector. Okay. So, with respect to the ambition and reality, okay. So, with respect to ambition and reality, the two critical aspects or the three critical aspects are one is with respect to the funding. Okay, in elaboration, you can simply mention lack of long-term financing. Okay. The second is with respect to the regulation. Okay. India ranked 132 with respect to the contract enforcement. Okay. In World Bank's ease of doing business. Or the second aspect is the poor concession agreements under PPP, leading to litigation.
Okay.
Okay. The third major issue is with respect to the land acquisition, leading to the delay in the project completion.
Okay.
Okay. With respect to regulation, you can also talk about multiple clearances required and all. Okay. So with respect to the what we have asked, assess the status of inland waterways. So the positive and negative both you have to have. They have highlighted the issues. But the positive aspects you must. The operationalization of the 5 national waterways and the total cargo transport that has happened through these. The data on it is given in your model also.
Okay.
So both has to provide them or you are asked to assess. And here the map also should have been there. with respect to all the five uh, national waterways. Okay. Then in the national waterways, one of the issue is federal issue as well. While national waterways are under the center, the state one. The state waterways are under the either concurrent list or the state list. Okay.
Okay.
We have to talk about the socio-economic impact. So important aspects with respect to the socio-economic that you should not miss. One, poverty. Okay. Second, with respect to this, the women. Third, rural urban. Fourth, social sector indicators. Okay. Health and education. Yes, so here you should have this. You have written the point. The poverty reduction you could have talked. Second aspect you could have talked is with respect to the food security. Okay, as majority or of the small and marginal farmers do the subsistence farming. Irrigation can help with respect to the food security. Third, with respect to the women empowerment, reduction because of reduction in the physical labor with respect to the villages. Fourth, the reduction into the rural-urban migration leading to the rural development. And fifth, improved the educational and the health indicators. You can draw the virtuous cycle. Okay. Income security, then that leading to the improved educational health outcomes, that further leads to the economic empowerment, then education linked to the rural development. The points that you have written are also fair. Subsidies and capacity building, DPT scheme. So with respect to this, whenever you talk about the issues like with respect to the investment, here also you mentioned the agri extension services. With respect to the latest technologies.
Okay.
Second is financing aspect. Creation of FPOs. Okay. Those. And then long-term financing to the primary agricultural societies.
Okay.
Or cooperatives, PSNs. So financing and the cooperation for FPOs. Good. So after the introduction, first you need to give the user flowchart to highlight the legal policy frameworks. You can just use the flow chart to highlight that. You segregate that, then you highlight the positive impact and negative
Okay.
impact. Okay. And here yours the in positive act, but the specific data is missing. Here's a simple one. Say the population of the tiger increased to 3,200. Because then they, as per the this state of forest report, increase in the forest areas.
Hmm.
Because then the conservation missions for this the data on the positive impact was actually needed.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, but here also again we have missed out on the important aspects, lack of community participation. One. Okay. Second is with respect to the funding. And third is with respect to the coordination between central state agencies.
Okay.
Yeah. Here also the indigenous population group. Then you can also talk about the international collaboration aspect. In environment and internal security. Always try to bring. Leveraging, you can simply talk about leveraging the Global Environment Facility and as well as the UNEP specialization and the funds. Yeah, for conservation projects. And the second, apart from that, with respect to the biodiversity conservation, the one more aspect is the is protecting the traditional knowledge system and ensuring equitable share of resources. Okay. Different state. Like okay. One again with respect to the nanotechnology or the new emerging technologies, you can also talk about the ethical issues. The example in biotechnology also. A simple human enhancement. Improving the cognitive abilities of the girls. The use of nanotechnology or biotechnology creates the issue with respect to equity. Okay. Here also you could have as you have mentioned the disadvantage. You could have briefly given the way forward and then conclusion.
Okay.
The conclusion we can link it to the Viksit Bharat. Okay. Or you can link it to India's Kanchanjunga targets as well. Yeah. And in way forward, you could have mentioned the schemes, government schemes, National Nanotechnology Mission is there. In science and technology related, always focus upon the this aspect, the government schemes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. With respect to the significance, you can also add the point with respect to helping in the energy research, with respect to the nuclear technology. Okay. That then it can help in the early warning, this highlighting the impact, and preparing the mitigation project with respect to the solar magnetism or its impact on the satellite system.
Okay.
Here your introduction is not at all linked to the theme of the question. Whether you define the non-state actors, or after writing it, you provide one connecting statement.
Okay.
So this technological revolution has been used by or has created or provided the new set of threats from the non-state actors like terrorists, who are here not state actors, terrorists, drug traffickers, Naxals, and organized crime.
Okay.
So this technological revolution has created new state of challenges from non-state actors like terrorists and all. Here the example needed. Okay. The example. Then the other non-state actors misusing digital technology. One, we have talked about radicalization, okay, and the recruitment. Other, you can talk about the encrypted messaging. Okay. Second, for intelligence gathering. Okay, as an example, you can give the honey trapping of DRDO scientist.
Okay.
Then encrypted messaging for the terrorist. Then third, use by organized crime in the money laundering. Okay. Then use of the dark web for drug trafficking, drug and human trafficking. Okay. These aspects. Always remember these non-state actors: organized crime, drug trafficking, then you have terrorists and Naxals. From their perspective, you can generate the points. Okay. Global cooperation that you have asked. Okay, you can also talk about the enhancing the digital literacy. You can mention the PM Disha scheme. Then cybersecurity architecture you have mentioned. Along with that, you can also bring the legal institutional aspect you have brought. You can bring the legal aspect also.
Okay.
Strengthening the IT Act. Then federal aspect also. The intelligence aspect you can talk within the institutional itself. The greater coordination between the intelligence agencies through NetGrid. Okay. Then the capacity building of the state police force.
Okay.
Okay? And you can give the example of the Cyberdome project of Kerala.
Okay.
Mhm. One more thing with respect to the cyber terrorism or cyber threat, if you get a question, you can also talk about building the offensive capabilities.
Hmm.
Rather than see here, you can also link about to the with respect to these issues also. Always with respect to the non-state actors or the critical infrastructure, this with respect to the cyber attacks, cover the aspect of the damage to critical infrastructure. Okay, your example is the hacking of or the cyber attack on the Kudankulam nuclear project.
Okay.
Here you can link it to the Industrial Revolution 4.0. In Northeast all question, you need to have the map. You can in the map you simply highlight the different insurgent groups. You know, different insurgent groups that are there. Just very sure. Yes. This much is also sufficient. Okay. Here you simply classify it under the pastel approach.
Hmm.
Okay. The political one is the failure of the peace talks. Okay. The second important reason is okay, ethnocentrism you have written, but you can they have given the recent example of Manipur here between the Metis and Kutis. Okay. The terrain aspect you have missed, but here also you can give the example misuse of the this free movement regime along Myanmar border. Right. That then the with respect to economic the developmental gap. Okay. Yes. Then one more is with respect to the external reasons. So one is the covert support by China. Again, second, instability in the neighborhood. Okay, coup in Myanmar and recent Bangladesh issue leading to the migration. Okay, those. The third, governance issue. Corruption in the six scheduled areas. Okay, those. Here you can mention SC judgment. Okay. Here also implementation of the peace talks. Okay. Yes. Then you can also talk about strengthening grassroots democracy. Extension of PayStar to Shiksha. Okay. Right. The rest, the border management and others we have covered. Uneven progress, because simply the pastel approach you should have followed. With respect to the economic, also again you could have talked about the limited economic resources to the states, या फिर बीमारू states, the lack of technology. With respect to this social, you can talk about opposition from the large landowners.
Okay.
ठीक है. Then technological हो गया, legal, different tenancy laws in the different states. Creating the legal hurdles. Okay. So here way forward also should have been provided. Because way forward you can cover the institutional aspect in the form of strengthening the PRIs. Okay. In elaboration, you simply talk about the high-speed internet through BharatNet project.
Okay.
Okay. Second, greater coordination between the state revenue departments and the ISRO. You're using satellite technology. Those. And third, you can also talk about this. I think it's Niti Aayog's Model Land Leasing Act.
Okay.
Okay. Along with it, you can simply create a search and you can highlight a case study. Your success. Kerala's Bhumi project. And you give the success that led to the digitization of, I think, around 90%. Just check this fact. Okay. That. Here you can define the gender equality also. If you get such concepts, okay, at least provide a brief definition and then you go for the data or context.
Okay.
Good. Okay. Within this, you can also talk about the health and SDG 4 and 5 with respect to health education also. यहाँ पे you can also talk about the improvement in the social sector indicators. You can give the data with respect to the increase in the institutional deliveries.
Okay.
In such cases, no, when you get a question on the either on the welfare schemes, on the or the this social protection, you prepare a flow chart and classify the points, and provide the schemes. Now, under it, what we can do, just a second. So, I use I have provided the classification. So, with respect to the social protection, insurance and pension, okay, employment generation, third, with social assistance, and fourth is with respect to health. Yeah, and under it you mentioned the schemes. Total pension yojana, national pension scheme, and you have the this one, employee provident fund.
Okay.
Okay, under the first. With respect to employment, you have Manrega. Okay, you have this Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Okay, with respect to social assistance, you have National Social Assistance Scheme, PMOA Shri Yojana. With respect to health, you have Ayushman Bharat and human health related one scheme you give. Okay. That classification you provide, and then you move on to the analysis of it. So the positive impact you give the data, negative impact you give the data.
Okay.
Okay. That is a better way. Economic resilience. Then we will start on this with respect to positive. See, here also, this is your implicit demand. No? In earlier questions also, you are giving extra weightage to the implicit demand.
Okay.
Right? You don't need to write too many points into it. Even if you classify it under this, okay, just either give the elaboration or example. Don't give both.
Okay.
You can limit your this. You have taken more than one page. Okay. So rather than that, if you would have finished this in first page, here you could have given your flow chart. Okay, and then the positive, you can use the table or you can provide it separately as well. Okay, the positive. So with respect to the Ayushman Bharat, more than 10 crore families are provided the insurance cover under Ayushman Bharat. The Manrega has helped, as per World Bank, Manrega has helped reducing the poverty. So 278 million people were brought out of the poverty between 2005 to 15. Okay. With respect to the social assistance or with respect to again help increasing institutional delivery. Okay, you can give the data on their pension also. With that you can show the positive result. Issues. vegetable rotation, poor earnings, corruption. Okay. Okay. This one more aspect is the inclusion exclusion errors. Okay. And the data for it is the 10 lakh fake beneficiary under Ayushman Bharat. That was in news. Okay. Yes. The other aspect is with respect to the overlapping.
Okay.
Yeah. The duplication of scheme under Ministry of Social Justice and Ministry of Women, etc., leading to the duplication and wastage of the resources. Yeah. Okay. So steps taken, Aadhaar link, here you mentioned JAM Trinity. Okay. So, in such questions, the organization related questions, okay, APMC, cooperatives, or NGOs, or pressure groups, okay, prepare this either a input output model or their organizational structure. Okay. For example, I think for the NGOs, I have already provided and the self-help group, I have already provided the organizational structure diagram in our extractor notes. Okay.
Okay.
Or you can refer the copies of this AI for Smriti Mishra. Okay. In this particular APMC rule, you can use the input-output method in this way. Okay. Farmer, trader, this goes into APMC, retailer, shareholder, consumer.
Okay.
After the introduction. So for this APMCs, NGOs, self-help groups, pressure groups. Okay. The other is this keyword, the core reasons why APMCs were established were market regulation. Second, better price discovery. You have written those points, I'm just giving you the keywords.
Keywords.
Price discovery. And third, this point you have missed, infrastructure support. The warehousing. Yeah. Okay. In that also you missed two important aspects. Lack of forward-backward linkage. Limiting the value addition and this the price realization for farmers. The second, poor infrastructure leading to the high wastage. Okay. The third, lack of technology adaptation. Okay. With respect to the weighing, grading, okay, and the cold storage.
Okay.
Okay. So wastage you have covered, but try to mention forward backward linkage. Okay. Yes. Politicization you have written. Okay. So along with politicization, one more the keyword is the cartelization. Okay, by the traders. That. But these three aspects are infrastructural. Sorry, infrastructural you have covered, the technological, okay, and the high fees you have covered. Forward backward linkage, technology. Along with cartelization, monopoly. Monopoly limits the freedom, farmers' freedom. The technology now, whatever good service to this pregnant through the good DBT, good. These are very good points. Along with it, you bring the Shanta Kumar committee. Shanta Kumar committee was on APMC only.
Okay.
Dinesh Goswami committee.
I mistakenly, I like we intended to write Ashok Dalwai.
Stipulations. Okay. Request. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. So in this also, again, first the weightage given to this part is more.
Okay.
That evaluate the efficacy of the national international initiatives. So after that, first you make a list of the national international initiatives.
Okay.
No, and then you go for the efficacy in this. Because these are your national, these are your international, and then evaluation.
Okay.
Okay. This is the standard format. Awareness creation, promotion, alternative dependency, agents, within PLC's company. Okay. In that, as you have highlighted the issue, you can provide the way forward. Way forward, remember this effective EPR norms, your strict implementation of the EPR norms. Second, rather than 4-hour strategy, you write the 6-hour strategy. 6-hour strategy to promote circular economy. Again, with respect to plastic, the third is you can talk about this, finding the alternatives in the form of jute and all. But remember, wherever you are providing the issues, provide the way forward. Okay. Great. Okay. Then again, the polluting global commons, you have talked about the pollution or the impact on the biodiversity, you can talk about use of chemical and biological weapons. Okay. So second, you can also talk about diversion of resources.
Hmm.
Okay. From the environmental conservation to the war efforts. Okay. Third, potential or the reducing the global cooperation on environmental conservation. Okay. Yes. Okay. Here you also need to mention the Geneva Convention. Okay.
Geneva Convention on War Prisoners. Or,
Not just war prisoners. Geneva is the very comprehensive convention. It also includes the environmental impact as well.
okay.
A specific provision I will tell just a minute. It's given in our model also. This is FLT 4. No?
Oh. Geneva Convention also talks about that. And the second is the Environmental Modification Convention. That is also there. Okay. Participation of regulatory program. Okay. Here also, you can also talk about India's involvement or the leadership in the International Solar Alliance. Your India's initiatives with respect to the International Solar Alliance. You can also give the PM Modi's vision in one earth, one grid. Okay.
You can link it to this India's Panchamrit goals. Conclusion. With respect to glacial lake outburst, what the diagram was needed. Okay. This was
diagram. Okay. Causes. And then where it highlighting the causes, always for any phenomena, try to classify it into the natural and anthropogenic.
Okay.
Okay. Here the example you can give the Zoshimata crisis in Uttarakhand. ठीक है. We'll set to give the exam. So for all the disasters, gather the recent examples of it.
Okay.
In disaster management, the major one is the examples of it.
Okay.
Because the first part of the question is not India specific. Second part is India specific. So you can put the global examples as well.
Okay.
This part. Okay. We haven't talked about the early warning system.
Okay.
With respect to the Indian Airlines. झाला 19वा क्वेश्चन. एकोणीसावा चालू आहे. एकच बाकी. So see, in this particular question, a simple structure would have been after the introduction and map. Okay, here you could have talked about India's border management with okay. So here you can simply give India's border management. Then you provide the present architecture along China. Okay. The military. So you mention the force that is there. Okay. As well as the infrastructure development by the BRO.
Okay.
So what are this? And the diplomatic, you mention the agreements. The 2003 agreement, the recent the military talks after the Galwan clash. Okay, with Pakistan. Okay, with respect to military BSF, use of technology CBIMS. With respect to the diplomatic, you talk about the This in 27 recently they had the this one. Mm, I think what is it called? Agreement on
Water sharing.
cross no, cross border firing something.
Okay.
ठीक है, recently they had agreement on that. ठीक है. Then you highlight the issues. Okay, with respect to military preparedness. So issues you can combine the issues under these two headings only, military and diplomatic. Okay, so with respect to military, lack of coordination between the central forces and the military, lack of technology or the technologically advanced weapons to the BSF and ITBP. ठीक है, या फिर use of drones. ठीक है. Then with respect to the this diplomatic, you can also talk about India's reactive policy rather than proactive,
Okay.
especially with respect to the China. Okay, with respect to Pakistan, the point that you have mentioned, ki lack of sustained diplomacy. Okay, when you highlight the issue, then you provide the way forward. It would have been the better structure. In this, I am not able to segregate which dimension you are addressing.
Mhm.
Okay, here you have given this the managing disputed area agreement. Then yes, reach. Okay. This part is fine. So here you are highlighting the measures taken.
Hmm.
Okay, but issues also have to be more. You have given limited weightage to this. Lack of sustained diplomacy. Okay, you can talk about suspension of talks with Pakistan. Then poor infrastructure development. Okay, lack of community involvement. Or the community alienation through the use of this APSPA.
Okay.
Okay, within military that will come. Then the coordination aspect between the army and the BSF and ITBP. Okay, this. Then you could have provided the way forward. And in conclusion, you can use the quote of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. You can change your friends, but not neighbors.
Okay.
Thus, it is essential to strengthen the border management for India's internal security. The agreement with Pakistan was with respect to the ceasefire.
Okay.
Here the issue part is limited. That's what I have in mind.
Okay.
And even if you are drawing the map, try to use the space properly. Okay, you have wasted this much of the space. You have to remove the space wastage. Good. For this, use the graph.
Okay.
Social developments along with you can also mention the rehabilitation policies.
Okay.
Surrender and rehabilitation policies. They have also been successful in the Chhattisgarh especially. ठीक है, Andhra. Operation Greyhound in Telangana. ठीक है. The C60 is also there in Maharashtra. Your
Okay.
force. Low visitor reallocation, implementation, central state, but along with it, the root cause of Naxalism is development and the uh, forced migration.
Mm.
This again means the root cause are still not addressed.
Okay.
You give the example of the recent uh, displacement of the tribals in Chhattisgarh. This year only it was in news. Okay. First, the second major issue with respect to the Naxalism is that intelligence failure. Our intelligence agencies have not been able to penetrate into the Naxal architecture, your Naxal organization. In elaboration, we can simply mention lack of coordination between central and state intelligence agencies. Okay. The first is developmental, second is the intelligence, and third, with respect to the issues. The recent trend that has emerged, you can talk about the urban Naxals also.
Okay.
The another one that you can use, which can be your brownie point, is this: the rise of women in Naxals. Because it has been found that 60% of the Naxal cadre are women. Okay. And the major reasons are obviously the displacement is one. The second is the ideology. Okay. The ideology of Maoism. And the third one is the custodial torture of the male family members.
Okay.
Okay. This can be your ground point. But don't miss out on these issues. Okay. Apart from that, I want the chart.
So the question is talking about police forces, right? So I was focusing on what are the limitations with state police force.
With respect to yes, state police force, but apart from that, as a value addition, you can also write that. Okay, along with this, the other issues.
Okay.
Yeah? Because see, if you have the brownie points, you have to incorporate. Okay, you can go bit beyond the demand.
Okay.
Okay. That. Then here also you need to provide the way forward. You have the space also. Okay. So you can provide the way forward separately.
Okay.
Yeah. The modernization of the police force, Samadhan strategy also. Strengthening the intelligence also. Try to mention greater collaboration between central and state agencies through night grid.
Okay.
And addressing the developmental gap. Okay. So overall, with respect to content, your answers are good. Okay. Apart from that, just add the key points that I have given. So with respect to content, it is fine. With respect to the demand understanding, there is no issue to the demand understanding. You are already a rank holder. Then with respect to the presentation, okay, in the disaster related questions, try to add the graphs.
Okay.
Okay. Fourth, the major issue is with respect to the weightage. Okay. Up to these points. For the implicit demand, you need to limit the weightage a bit.
Okay.
Okay. That rest everything is fine. Just a few use of the data is also sufficient. Okay. But with respect to this, one more thing, you can use more pie charts and graphs. What you do,
then you will revise GS3 next time. Because whatever topic you are preparing, just gather one or two graphs related to it. Suppose if you are doing fiscal policy, okay, in that the two graphs you can go get is the one is with respect to fiscal deficit over the years, second is with respect to the tax collection. In that the share of direct indirect one. Okay. Similarly, with respect to monetary policy, interest rate. If you are doing infrastructure, so with respect to funding, कैसे increase हुआ उसका. Okay, or with respect to the, you can get a pie chart with respect to the share of different sectors. No. Similarly, with respect to internal security also. If you get in internal security and disaster, the major thing that is needed is the examples. ठीक है, खास करके in disasters.
Okay.
With respect to internal security, apart from the examples, you need to get some graphs. ठीक है, जैसे नक्सलिज्म with respect to the deaths, जैसे this was your question. ठीक है, so this is a simple one with respect to the deaths.
Okay.
This then the map is there. ठीक है. With just ठीक है, this is fine. This part, what is that? This. Irrigation. This, then the national waterways.
Okay.
Okay, then this is with respect to the cropping pattern.
Okay.
Yes. So just a brief, one or two you prepare, and as per the demand of the question you try to use. Because majority of the aspirants who have got good marks in GS3, it is because of the use of the pie charts and more examples and data. Okay, dimension
Okay.
we already have.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Any doubts in this?
No, nothing. Clear.
Okay. So with respect to value addition, you have to do only that one.
Okay.
Okay. The rest value addition you can do from the model analysis. Okay. So tomorrow then I will schedule for the essay and this GS.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And today we also have the session at 5 p.m. on the essay. The recording of it will also be available.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.